What's up, YouTube? So this is Heidemarie, which is season's newest five-star character, newest five-star seasonal character, and she brings an entirely different mechanic to the game and is absolutely busted in my opinion. Okay, let's just go over what she does. So these are her cards right here: Sword Flash, Sword Rain, here at all and everything. So what she does is basically revolves around the linked keyword as well as generating effulgent blades. So linked is that when this card is used manually, this called all other linked cards in hand. And what linked does is if you have multiple linked cards in your hand, all of them are, of course, linked together. So that when you use one of the cards that are linked together, all of the ones that are linked are then moved to the graveyard. So you can kind of think of it like a anchor. Yeah, kind of like an anchor, right? The card that you use is going to be your anchor, and when you toss it out, the chain that's the chain that's tied to the anchor, aka all the other cards, are going to go down into the water with water, aka grave, with you. And so, yeah, that's basically what it is. And she also has the keyword Quietus, which means that if it is discarded to the graveyard, then it activates, right? So if you can see here, one of the key things is that there's a epiphany that goes with it that says link plus Quietus. So this card could potentially be linked and then activate as well when it goes into the graveyard. And that's one of the key things with the effulgent blades, which are the things that which are the cards that she generates. It says when this card is discarded, aka linked, or tossed down to the link, 149 extra damage to random, and this card cannot be moved from the draw pile on shuffle. So this card stays in your graveyard. So after you after you exhaust your entire deck and basically reshuffle your graveyard with your deck, this card will stay in the graveyard. Thread of Light linked, 149 damage, 120 damage for each link card in hand. So this could go to astronomical levels of damage. Effulgent Expansion, create 2 Effulgent Blades plus 50% damage to the Effulgent Blades for 1 turn. So these are the Effulgent Blades right here. And this one is her like secondary mechanic, which is move to the graveyard, 1 Effulgent Light. So when you move to the graveyard, you create an Effulgent Light. And when you retrieve it 3 times, it turns into Effulgent Release, which is exhaust all Effulgent Blades in your graveyard, then 120% damage amount for each exhausted Effulgent Blade. At the end of the turn, change this card into Effulgent Compression. So you just kind of keep on cycling Effulgent Compression and Effulgent Release back and forth, back and forth, back and forth whenever you discard this, right? And then let's go to her partner, which is Sylvia, which is her designated partner. Increase the assigned combatant's attack by 16% each time the assigned combat's linked cards are used manually or discarded. Gain 1 Zephyr. And when Zephyr reaches 3 stacks, plus 20% critical damage to the assigned combat to the assigned combatant. So all you need is 3 links to be able to get this plus 20% crit damage. And Zephyr, plus 15% amount to the assigned combatant's passion attack cards, max 3 stacks, which you already need to do the 20% crit damage. So it's 20% crit damage plus what, 35% or no, 45% passion attack, which is insane. But her ego skill is also one of the most, I use this ego skill so much, one of the most used ego skills for Heidemarie, as well as very, very, very flexible. Select the 2 cards in hand, apply link to the selected cards. If applied linked, if a selected card is assigned combatant's linked card, plus 10% critical damage to the assigned combatant for each such card instead. So if you just want to give her plus 20% critical damage boost just to kind of burst people down, you could just use this on 2 of Heidemarie's linked cards, and then she'll get the extra damage. But what I do a lot with this card is I link this because sometimes I don't have enough AP at the end, right? and I linked this card to a 0 cost card to kind of enable the link chain. And when you use it, yeah, so you have a 0 cost mana card that you could potentially link off X amount of cards to, which is very, very great value. And let's go to our potential. Actually, no. Potential is just kind of like more damage, more stuff like that, right? And yeah, plus 30% damage amount to Effulgent Blade, which is her passive, which is her basics right here, right? So it's fine. But more important, let's go to her ego manifestation. So E1 is 200% damage amount to Effulgent Release. Effulgent Release is the card that this turns into after you discard it 3 times. So plus 200 damage amount to that. And the added damage amount for each Effulgent Blade in the graveyard becomes 120%. Now now, as everybody knows, E2 is kind of like where you want to be for any of the characters that you really, really like. And E2 basically gives her an entire extra move set. So at the start of the battle, move Effulgent Compression card to the hand. So then this card, this Effulgent Compression becomes a starts in your hand now, so it's fine. So it's very good. At the start of the turn, gain 5 Crimson Blade. When a linked card is manually discarded or is used manually or discarded, 120% extra damage, extra attack to the enemy with the highest health. So you get another completely, like, entirely new moveset, which is the Crimson Blades. And you get 5 of these each turn, so you can potentially, and it stacks up to 8 times, so you can potentially use 8 of them in a single turn, which is insane. And I'll show you how this looks like in the battle scenario, because Crimson Blade, when they say Crimson Blade, they're not lying. Crimson Blade is red, and you'll see the differentiation between like blue, with blue, which is her actual sword skill, and red, which is this skill right here. So it goes like blue, red, blue, red, blue, red. Really, really beautiful in battle. Vivid Memories, 20% damage to Alicia, which is her ulti. Change to 80%. And change 80% to 100% max 30 cards. So this is an insane multiplier. If you just like discard 30 cards plus this, a lot of damage. When manually using or discarding Heidemarie's link cards, gain Effulgent Chain. Effulgent Chain plus 5% damage to Heidemarie, max 10 stacks. So you can so if you discard 10 cards, then she'll basically get like a 50% damage boost. And this is not per turn, by the way. This is not per turn. So you just potentially get 50% damage throughout the entire battle. Actually, not potentially. You will, because it's really easy to discard 10. Increase the level of basic cards, upgrades, and stuff like this by 3. This is the regular skill upgrades. Create Effulgent Blade cards to all attribute cards. Each time Crimson Blade is activated, plus 40% damage amount to Crimson Blade, max 480%. So yeah, this is so much. So 10 max 480. What the? Yeah, that's so much. So what this does is changes Effulgent Blade right here. You can see the color on the side right here. It changes from a fire attribute card to a all attribute card. So that means that you can use Heidemarie in every single scenario now. You don't have to just use, or she'll be good in every single scenario. You don't have to just use her in red or like monsters that's weak against passion. Weak against anything, or yeah, she's just strong against anything now. So very, very good Ego 6. And let's see her in action. Okay, so what we can do is, since this is a Quietus card, and this is we could use Adagio, which you can draw 2 and discard 2. So we can just draw 2 and discard these 2 right here. Let's discard this. Actually, yeah, let's discard this right here. So when we discard those, it's going to create 2 Effulgent Blades. And what this one did right here was luckily it discarded one of my other cards right here. Yeah, it discarded one of my other ones right here to create another Effulgent Blade. And look at this. If we just use Effulgent Blade right now, it's gonna discard everything right here. Or yeah, we can just use one of these right here. It's gonna discard everything and do so much damage to this right here. And you'll see the red and blue. Watch, blue, red. Come back in with the blue. So pretty. It's so good. Now let's go with Dagio again. Let's discard these two now. These two are my other quietest cards right here. And this should be able to complete and kind of destroy this thing right here. There we go. And look at all the buffs that you get right here too. We go to here. This is all the buffs you get from discarding Heidemarie. Rhythm Boost, Effulgent Blade, Effulgent Chain, Zephyr, Prelude to a Hero, plus 50% crit chance. This is from the new artifact set. Aurora Wing Beast, plus 20% crit damage to Heidemarie. Crimson Blade. Look at this. This is insane. Let's go. So this is also another quietest card, and this one's one of her best ones. Where at the start of the turn, you create 2 Effulgent Blades. So let's just do that right now. Let's do this. Let's discard these 2 right here. This isn't going to give us a Effulgent Blade right now, but it's going to give us at the end of the turn. Discard 1 random card. So let's do this right here. Now let's use Blooming Love. Oh, and discard this. Hey, we got another Effulgent Blade. So we get 2 Effulgent Blades right now. So let's just use this on this right here. Nice. And you see the myriad of colors right there. Now we have Effulgent Blade release. Before I do that, let's just kind of do this for right now. And then let's use the quietest card to kind of discard something right here. Hopefully we discard a good one right there. Oh, there we go. So yeah, that is Heidemarie. Very pretty to see in action. Extremely strong, and I think she's going to be meta for a while. If not for a while, then she's definitely going to be meta for the kind of like discard or the quietest meta that's going to be eventually being added to in the future. So definitely pull for her and her partner if you can. If you don't have her partner, you could use Diana's partner. Actually, if you like pulled for Diana, you can actually use Diana's partner. This is Diana's partner right here. Increases assigned combatants because they're both oh wait, no, never mind, you cannot, because she's what am I talking about, she's hunter and she's ranger, so you cannot even use that. So go ahead and pull for her and her partner. They're limited, so go on ahead and give it your all and try to get her. Peace.